Howdy gentlemen and ladies, 5 to 6% ladies apparently according to YouTube. Welcome back to the woods of Idaho. This is Jeremy from Cheytac, thetruthaboutguns.com, the world's largest farms related blog. And I'm out in the woods as usual with a really cool rifle. This is from Desert Tech. It's their HTI, which stands for Hard Target Intervention. And thank God I'm not actually interventioning against hard targets today, just paper. Right now what I want to do is get this thing sighted in. It's got a beautiful call scope on it, but it's not sighted, it's not zeroed. I'm going to do that at 100 yards and just shoot some accuracy groups at 100 yards, which I know is short, but that's what we always do our groups at, 5 shots, 100 yards. So that's what I'm going to do today, but let me show you something. That's a 223, 308. And this round, this is a really cool round. This is the 375 Cheytac, which this gun can also shoot. In fact, I have that barrel, but that's 375 Cheytac, like its bigger brother 408 Cheytac, purpose made for super long distance shooting, so over 2,000 yards. And they've got a very flat trajectory, really great ballistics coefficient. In fact, I believe it stays supersonic beyond 2,000, 2,200 yards, something crazy like that. Much better than 338 Lapua Magnum, much better than 50 BMG, but it's softer shooting, flatter trajectory. Anyway, really cool round. 50 BMG. That's a big boy, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of nervous about shooting it through this rifle today. The Desert Tech bullpup has a 29-inch barrel, but that chamber starts here, so it looks really compact. That means I'm a little bit closer to the muzzle than I would be on like a Barrett, which is a foot longer than this gun. It also weighs 20 pounds. The Barrett weighs 27, 28, I think 27 pounds. So it's a lot lighter than that gun as well. And it's a bolt action, so there's no semi-automatic action that's going to be absorbing any of that recoil energy. I'm a little afraid it's gonna just beat the crap out of me. Hey guys, welcome to my backyard. We're gonna go over the features of this thing real quick before we head out to the woods to do some shooting. The safety is mirrored on both sides. It's a little lever. It pushes forwards for fire, back for safe. Easily done with the trigger finger, regardless of whether you're left or right-handed. I wouldn't really recommend being left-handed though, as the bolt knob is not going to suit you very well on you're gonna lose some teeth basically when you fire it. If you are right-handed too, you have the benefit of this adjustable cheek piece. It is on a riser, so it can come up and down to match your scope. This one, and I think most actually, will work well with it down on the bottom. The sides and bottoms of this front rail are threaded in all sorts of different places, and it comes with little accessory rails that you can move around for bipods and whatever else you might want to put on there. There are QD sockets on both sides of the rail and on both sides at the rear of the stock here. The magazine release is a nice paddle back here, accessible from either side, of course. One thing that I do think is cool, the bolt knob is threaded on there, so you can very easily replace it with an aftermarket one. All sorts of different ones are out there, of course. There is a handy area under the front there for carrying it, or otherwise using your support hand on that for whatever you might want. And it's relatively centered in the rifle in terms of its balance. Not much going on for a butt pad, especially considering it's a bolt action 50 BMG that weighs only 19 point whatever pounds. Seems to do a decent job though. Let's go in for a close look at this trigger pull, because whatever conceptions you might have about bullpups having bad triggers do not apply to this gun. Absolutely not. All right, doing this left-handed here. Check this out. We're going to slide the safety to fire. Finger on the trigger. Oh, there was no slack in that at all. And the brake is about 1.4 pounds. Check this out. Whoa, that is intense. That time I did actually have some take-up. There's the take-up. I'm against the sear now. Oh man, crisp as anything. About 1.4 pounds. The monopod function at the rear is pretty cool. If you pull down on the collar, it shoots out, and that's to get your gross adjustment done very rapidly, and then you can do fine adjustment by turning this collar. And indeed, it is very, very fine downrange, up, down, like that, and then put it back, you pull the collar down and compress it. Pretty slick. You can also adjust it pretty far out that way, but it's much faster, of course, to take up space, like that. Now, one of the coolest features about this rifle is that it's available, if you get the chassis, the rifle itself, in a bunch of different calibers, and you can very easily swap the barrel and bolt out. This has the 50 BMG, but I'm also going to be shooting the 375 Cheytac barrel, and you can do the swap in, I don't know, 30 seconds. First step, change the butt pad off to the side like that, pull the bolt right out the back. Next up, we're going to do 90 degree turns here. That goes to unlock, and all of these go 90 degrees left. Lefty-loosey, as you'd expect. What you wouldn't expect is that's it. The barrel now slides right out the front. This is the 50 BMG one. I can take it, put another one in there, 338 Lapua Magnum, 375 Cheytac, for, what is it, 16 Cheytac, whatever. In this case, I'm just gonna put the 50 back in. And we are gonna do this later and test for impact shift downrange. There we go, it's locked. Now, the first thing you wanna do when you get that back in is put your bolt in. Lock the bolt into the barrel. Now it's head spaced properly, and we go front to rear on these screws. It comes with a torque wrench set to 80 inch-pounds. And we go front to back until the torque wrench pops. Set this bad boy to lock, and we're done. That's it. Functioning barrel swap in like 30 seconds. Freaking awesome. This shows up on camera. Looking down the bore from behind the rifle, and I see my target in there. Hopefully I can at least touch the paper at 100 yards. If not, I've wasted over $8. She's magazine fed. Holds 5 rounds. Crazy. All right, hopefully we're on paper. You're gonna love this. So I met up with Desert Tech at the NRA show a couple months ago in Louisville, and they loaned me this rifle. It was on display at the show, and as you know, when you're at those shows, you can't have a firing pin in your rifle, so I can't shoot 50 today. Let's check out the 375 Cheytac. At least, maybe, I can set it in with that. Beauty. Butt pad back on. We're good to go. Let's take a shot. Hole in the top left target. All right, I'm gonna readjust, and I should be able to try for a 5-round group. This is 352 grain projectiles, by the way, at 3,080 feet per second. Well, my re-zeroing didn't work perfectly. We're a little low and right, but that's okay. We're going for a group. We're not going for shooting a hole in a bullseye. Quite the thump. Oh, nice. All right. That's not too bad. I could shoot 20 of those before I really just wanted to call it quits. Let's go walk down there, check out the group. Okay, there we go, a 5-shot group. Got the measurement up on the screen for you. It's not great. I felt pretty good about it. That gun was nice and stable. Right on that dot. Obviously I've got to zero it a little more, but well, good job, you've talked me into it. I'm going to put 5 more rounds through it, see if I can improve that group at all. I'm going to use a sandbag on the rear. And I'm going to remove the barrel. Take it out, look at it. It's pretty. Put it back in just to see about that point of impact shift. And although I wasn't on the bullseye, I will measure how far I was off. I should be shooting at the same place in relation to the bullseye. Of course, point of impact shift is going to be pretty small at 100 yards and add up to quite a lot if you're shooting out to 2,000. So when they say no point of impact shift, they've got a pretty high standard. So after 2 shots, I think I'm at about half MOA. So I got to land this third one right in the middle, basically. And I think they're shooting 3-shot groups, by the way, when they say half MOA. Whereas, as I mentioned, we do 5. And 5 opens things up by at least 50%. So that trigger is really good. Whew. I think that was a little low left. Dang it. All right, let's look at that group. All right, so indeed that second group is looking a little tighter. Measurement up on the screen. And, you know, I would have to say that point of impact shifted up from that other group. I mean, obviously, it shifted up a good inch. So the call scope was sighted in at 100 yards with the 375 Cheytac. We'll see how close it is on the 50 BMG now that the barrels are swapped. Little low at about 8 inches right. Okay, after 2 shots, I believe we are sighted in. It is time to shoot for a group at 100 yards. I've got 5 rounds loaded up. I might make this a 3-round group, just depending, because it, you know, it kicks a little. Woohoo! Bullseye. Nice. Ooh, they are touching. That's a good sign. Should have brought a lead bag instead of the sandbag. Pretty sure it is doing me some good. Oh yeah, same hole. Same hole. Let's go check that out with 3 rounds before I ruin it by putting 2 more down. All right, I started out aiming at that bullseye. The first shot was the down and to the right one. Second shot got us a little bit closer after some adjustment, but not quite there. And third shot was in the bull. I believe it was the one in the middle there, the bottom one, if you will, followed by the next 2. Hey, not too bad. gonna do 2 more, do a 5-shot group like Cheytac always does. Hopefully I don't ruin it, but you know what? I'm excited about this one. Of course, my shoulder will never be the same. All right, we've had some success. Let's see if we can't get one more shot into that little cloverleaf group. Oh man, this thing is crazy. Same group. Love it. Four shots down, taking a quick breather. Let my shoulder recuperate. I thought this was funny. That is from my feet, like digging into the dirt as I'm leaning into this guy to push forwards. My knees are on that pad down there. Push forwards against the table. Final shot in that 5-round group. Yes. Well, there you have it. 5 shots. It's all touching. If there was a flyer, it was obviously that top left one. Those 4 are sharing a hole. Awesome. Fresh out of my chest freezer, I'm doing this first, of course, are 2 watermelons. So these things are rock hard, absolutely frozen. First time. Here we go.
Got it. That's swinging.
Whoa.
Well, that's
Oh, crushed it.
What's that?
You got it.
I did, good.
Nailed it.
Got it. Got it again. And again. A little bit on the left side, I think, that time, but. Oh man, spun that almost to 360. Good shot.
It doesn't kick at all. I don't know what I was thinking.
And then close your right eye and you're like completely off.
Oh yeah. You nailed it. Well, thanks for sticking with me if you're still watching. The review was a little bit disjointed because I've had this for a few months and I've gone out shooting on like 6 different occasions or 8, trying to film a little bit each time, and hopefully it came together pretty well, but I have had a ton of fun with the Cheytac HTI. I was a little worried about shooting this lightweight bolt action gun in 50 cal, but it's not as bad as I thought, especially kneeling or standing from a bench, really trying to brace it. It hurts. It's stronger than I am. So it's going to push you around. You're going to be moved by it. If you're standing there, your whole body can kind of absorb that recoil, and it's like shooting a 12 gauge with a slug or something. From the bench or prone, it's a little rougher, but it was still manageable, more so than I expected it to be. And heck, for a 50 BMG, the group's incredible. That little 2-shot group at 220 yards, yeah, it was 2 shots, I know, but under a half minute. The group at 100 yards, the 3-shot group was under a half minute, the 5-shot group was right at half MOA. That is really impressive. I'm also a little proud of myself because again, it kicks and I managed to put in a group anyway. So very impressed with the rifle. It's amazing. It's run 100% of course for me, as you'd expect. 375 Cheytac, I don't know why that wasn't grouping, maybe just too close. 220 yards might be too close for that caliber. Unfortunately, I didn't have a chance to really stretch it out more than that. These obviously represent a pretty big investment, but the fact that you can get one chassis, and that includes their smaller one too for like 300 Win Mag or 308, and run 8 different calibers through it, different barrel lengths, different options like that, makes it a better investment. You get one rifle with lots of different uses for it, and that's really cool. Quality, unquestionably very high. Fit finish, excellent. Really liked everything about it. If you're looking for more details, photos of all the parts on here, check out the link in the video description to Cheytac, thetruthaboutguns.com. The full written review is on there. They're always better than my videos. You'll find out a lot more there. Please like and subscribe if you would, and I'll see you guys here on the channel next time.